This is the 2025 Audi RS6 Avant GT, and it was my pick for hit of the show at the 2025 Canadian International Auto Show, and now I get to drive it. Oh man, this car is just spectacular. It's got tons of power, but the stat I'm going to start with is actually its weight. It weighs just over 2,000 kilograms or over 4,500 pounds, but it's not nearly as heavy as that BMW M5 Touring I drove just a few weeks ago, and there are huge dividends from that loss of weight. It just feels lighter and more nimble. I find the steering to be excellent, so you turn in, it really goes where you want, and you don't feel like the car is pulling you way off track. You can really dive from side to side, tuck into corners, and it just feels right. It's got really wide tires all around, so it's got fantastic grip that you need because it's got all of this power. Like the M5 Touring, it's also a twin-turbo V8. This one makes on its own 621 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. And that is just plenty because it doesn't weigh as much. Its official acceleration time is 3.3 seconds to 100 kilometers per hour. And it's got a really straightforward launch control mode, so you can get in as often as you want. And you might only be doing 0 to 60 or 0 to 80 depending on the road you're on. But it's good for some serious thrills in those couple of seconds. You really feel that punch of acceleration. You flatten into your seat. It is just so much fun. But what I love about this car is there's that added dimension of performance that you just feel it wants to do more than just accelerate. Being an Audi, of course, it's got quattro all-wheel drive, and it's also hooked up through an 8-speed automatic transmission. But there's also a trick rear differential that helps divide the power to the rear wheels appropriately. And of course, the all-wheel drive is portioning out power front to back, and it's always got some degree of all-wheel drive. From your standard 40-60, it can send up to 70% to the front or up to 85% to the rear. So it is a little bit more rear bias than we expect of Audis, perhaps. And that just pays dividends because it's just something where it's got that driving feel where the fronts are free to steer and the rears are providing more power. Like the M5 Touring, the Audi's also got a variety of customizable modes, but this one has far fewer to pick from. In the customizable modes, there's only about 4 settings to choose from. You've got your drive, your steering, you've got your engine sound, and you've got the rear sport differential. So it's not a lot, it's not an infinite array of choices with which you might get confused. The default modes are Comfort, Auto, and Dynamic, but you also have a choice of 2 RS modes, RS1 and RS2, that you can customize and change settings according to your whims. One of the other customizable aspects of the RS6 Avant GT is the suspension, but you can't control that through the screen. The Audi RS6 Avant GT has a coil-over suspension, which is adjustable in 2 ways. One, you can set the rebound rate using a small little knob on top of the transmission tower, and you can also adjust the height of the suspension by about 10 millimeters or a centimeter. This means that if you do take this car to the track, you can really subtly tweak it to help balance out the ride height and feel that you've got for cornering on a track. No matter how you adjust the suspension, this is going to be one stiff ride. This is set up for sport, sport, and more sport. And I like it perfect that way. You don't end up in something like an Audi RS6 Avant if you want some kind of a compromise and some kind of a comfort. It is not so stiff that you can't be comfortable on your daily drive in town, although rough roads, you're gonna feel every little bump and patchwork over a pothole. So be careful where you choose to drive and how hard you take it on those rough city roads. Of course, the RS6 Avant is a wagon, so it's gotta be a practical family car as well. And even though it rides stiff, It's got really comfortable seats at all the 4 primary positions. You can squeeze somebody into the rear middle if you need to take 5, but that middle section's also a fold down, so you've got a pass through for hockey sticks or skis, and I wouldn't be surprised if the people who own this are going skiing sometimes and want to pack their skis inside in the nice dry cabin. The trunk itself measures over 500 liters, and that's plenty of space for all of a family's needs, like strollers, a couple hockey bags, a full luggage set. Whatever you typically need with a family, it's going to be able to handle. If you're in a pinch and need to transport something larger, you can always fold down all 3 of those rear seats, and that opens up 1,600 liters of cargo space, which is really quite a bit. This one's also got a really neat cargo cover that's powered, so it lifts up automatically when you open the tailgate, and it also closes back down automatically when you close it. And this is also equipped with an extra dog separator. In case you have dogs, you can raise that to make sure that the dog doesn't jump over into the rear seat or anything like that. In terms of the RS6's features, this is the tail end of a generation. A new A6 has just been launched, which will have the latest Audi tech, and this one's got the previous generation of Audi MMI and virtual cockpit. We've gotten used to it over the years and find it's really intuitive. It's got all the features we need. It's got a head-up display, which appears much more basic than competitors like the M5, but it's still got all the information you need. It just doesn't necessarily look as fancy. Now, the stereo system is great. However, I had a lot of problems with my phone connecting, whether by wireless CarPlay or even when I was plugged in via a cable. Now, this is a typically dark Audi interior with black microfiber lining the dash, black plastics all over the console, but they've livened it up a little bit with red stitching on the inside of the steering wheel, a honeycomb pattern along the seats and also along the edges, and these bright red seat belts just to break up the sea of black. This being a very special edition GT version of the RS6 Avant, it's also got plenty of badging to let you know exactly what it is. Now, it's got the RS6 GT badges on the seats, it's got GT badges on the fenders, and it's also got those special stickers on the outside meant to commemorate the 1989 Audi 90 GTO car that used to race in some Trans Am racing back in the day. However, they don't charge an extra $100,000 for this car just because of some stickers and badges. They've done a lot of work to this car to make it unique and to really live up to that performance. Aside from that really trick coilover suspension, this car's got a carbon fiber hood, and the front fenders are also carbon fibers with special air intakes to extract air from around the brakes in order to help keep the brakes cool. Not surprisingly, Audi fitted this RS6 Avant GT with the best brakes you can imagine. They are carbon ceramic brakes with floating calipers, and the discs measure 440 millimeters in front and 370 millimeters in the back. They're absolutely huge. The rotors seem to take up the entire inside of those 22-inch wheels, and the caliper housing seems to take up half of the radius of those discs. Now, the braking does take a bit of getting used to because carbon ceramics can be so grabby. It's got so much stopping power. It will absolutely stop you dead in its tracks. But once you get used to it, I find that you can modulate the brakes and ease in and have nice smooth stops so you're not shocking passengers too much. All of these things come together to make a car that is decidedly hardcore, yet it's right on that edge of daily livability that it feels a bit punishing, but not in a bad way. It's constantly reminding you, yeah, this is a performance car, deal with it. But it's a joy to drive everywhere. You don't have to drive bonkers speeds in order to get a lot of fun out of it. It turns in nicely, it handles nicely, it accelerates spectacularly. So I feel like it's always fun and it's always there and ready for even more fun. Having just driven the BMW M5 Touring recently, I obviously can't help but compare the two. And the thing I find is that the RS6 Avant GT is just so much more focused on performance, and I love that. It's got the carbon fiber hood and side panels, which helps bring the weight way down. It's way lighter. And so therefore there's huge benefits in terms of acceleration and handling, and it just feels right for what it was meant to do. This is definitely going to be one of my favorite cars of the year, of the decade, and for all I know, of my entire career. 2025 Audi RS6 Avant GT. For Driving.ca, I'm Jonathan Yarconi. Don't forget to check out the site for more performance cars, reviews, and news.